Hey everybody, it's Steve, and I'm going to be doing a second video for today. And that's because my new format is to only try to cover one project at a time, so my videos are a little shorter. Thank you to all the new subscribers, and keep giving me feedback if you want me to change a little bit of the way I do my videos. So today we're going to be talking about a project that I started covering when it was really small. I think I first featured them, if I looked back here, I know they were in my top 3 projects. I'm trying to find that right here. So it's over a month ago. And when I featured them, if you watch this video, they were a smaller project. And so if you got into it after then, I know it's been a rough ride. There's been a lot of up and down. And that's because we are talking about the Goose Finance, who's been as high as 3 on DeFi Station. They were coming up here and going to compete with Venus and Pancake Swap. And then layered farming did just not go how they hoped. It has not been successful in a lot of people's opinion because more people have lost money than gained money in it. For anybody that knows, I haven't covered layered farming a lot because I didn't really want to get in layered farming, because when they announced layered farming to me, it was the idea that if you want to chase like crazy gains, if you want to try dangerous brand new projects on the Binance Smart Chain, if you're one of those person who looks for when a project first launches, tries to find them on Twitter, tries to find them there, and you want to chase them, well, they were giving you the opportunity to chase major gains on their platform, but they told you there was going to be a lot of risk. And even though they said that, a lot of people just got angry at how much money they lost on the different layered tokens and how they're not really performing great. Goose is still trying to figure out a way to stop bots from buying all the tokens. They're trying to figure out a way to make layered farming better, but they're probably going to continue it going because the idea behind layered farming is that it's a way for them to burn some of their original token, the egg token, which is supposed to help drive value into the egg token. That doesn't work when people get burned by it, when they don't like it, when it gives the project a bad name. And that's why hopefully they'll be trying to announce that. They followed down to 9th. If we look at the project, their total value locked, it was pushing up, and at one point it was $400 million when their token was kind of at its peak. And then it's had a real steady decline down here to 127. Most of that has to do with the price change in their own token, as that's going to define a lot of how much money is locked into a project. And I just really want to give updates on what Goose is trying to do to turn things around. I want to keep updating people because just because the project hasn't been doing well, I'm not going to abandon it, and I'll let you know what I'm currently doing. All right, so let's take a look at the price. Goose is down to $15. It's down about 16% today, and that's really kind of, to me, a pretty big disappointment for the day because they did have their first IFO launch, and the IFO was really, really successful. So we'll go ahead and talk about the IFO really quick. So their initial farm offering, this happens on Pancake Swap and on Goose Finance, I think, and definitely on Bakery Swap, where coins will come. They'll launch their projects here. They'll look to sell their first amount of tokens as kind of an initial sale right here. So this is the Typhoon network. They did get all of the money that they needed. They got over raised by 400%, which really isn't as bad as some of the launches at some of the other platforms that get oversubscribed by thousands of percent. So if you tried to get into this, hopefully you got some tokens. I had meant to get into it, but it just didn't launch at a good time for me, so I didn't get into it. Typhoon Network is basically a zero-knowledge protocol to send private transactions, so it's kind of using some of the ZK Snark technology on Binance Smart Chain to try to be able to let people do private transactions. I don't know a lot about the project. I didn't look into it that much. That's another reason why I didn't go ahead and take part in the sale, because I didn't really have enough time to really dig into them. They do have their white paper here. They talk about their launch, and you can come and look at how they're doing everything and where they're going. The project will be having a farm. I don't know if the farm is live yet. Let's see. Oh yeah, here it is right here. So you can earn 320% if you're in the Typhoon BUSD pool. And let's look if they're in the nests. Sorry, I should have scouted this out ahead of time, but they're not. So they just got an initial farm. So it's an initial farm offering. The token came out. They got a farm on the platform. It's earning a healthy 320%. You can see the egg farms that you still earn a good percentage in return of the actual egg token, but it's risky to get into these because this token is going up and down so much and more in a down pattern. That is why I don't ever suggest that you buy the tokens to get into these pools. I suggest you farm the tokens to get into these pools. So you use something safer. They have a USDT BUSD pool that's still, theirs only pays at 30%. So this is why I pulled my money out of these pools, because they've gotten so big. These are down in the lower things. And for full transparency, the only pool that I'm still involved in is this Egg BUSD pool, but it's with profit that I got by farming with DYOR, and then I also farmed with in the nest. I went ahead and staked my DOT tokens, and I staked Wrap BNB here for a little bit. And I did that until I built up a decent amount of egg. I was selling it along the way, some of it for profit. I sold more of it when it spiked up to over $100 a token. And then I saved a little stack of it in that BUSD egg pool. And I've just been letting those tokens grow when they were in the pool on the site until the auto farm stuff launched. And then I put it in the auto farm so that I don't have to come back and compound my earnings. They'll do it for me. And I earn the auto farm token on top of that. So that's currently where I'm at with egg. Now, the reason I'm doing this video twofold is because I just wanted to cover the launch. I wanted to show that they did have a successful launch of a token. That's good for the platform, but obviously we'll talk about the token price. They did not get a spike in value, and that's bad for the token. But we'll also talk about the next thing that they're going to be launching, and that is their vaults. So I just did a video about Cub Finance, who's kind of a copy of Goose Finance, and how they're launching their vaults that they're calling Cub Kingdoms. Well, Goose Vault is launching, and they have a interesting new idea behind the vaults, besides just the idea of you give us your money and we go and earn returns with it using other places and then give you more. They're doing an interesting thing where they're putting $2 million added into their vaults to help accelerate their vaults. So when Goose launches, they're going to have this new system where they're going to provide you funding to invest into their farms. So basically, when you stake any of your money into the vaults, they're going to give you a Goose dollar pegged at 1 USD. And I'm kind of reading here to not get this wrong. You can take this Goose dollar and then stake the Goose into Goose dollar farms. For each Goose dollar staked, they will put $1 into the farm, and they'll take the risk of that dollar for you. So basically, your money will go in the vault. It'll sit there and it will do whatever the vault does, and they do have some ways for the money in the vaults to grow, but then they're going to give you some money to put into a farm to farm some kind of token, whether it's the Goose token. We'll have to see what they have exactly there, if they're going to start allowing any other tokens to be farmed out of there. And then you're going to be able to, at zero risk, put those dollars in there, and then eventually when you pull your money out, those will probably go away. You should probably come and read this post, and I'll have a link to it if you want to fully understand the vaults. But it is exciting to see that while the team hasn't had everything go their way, they are going to go ahead and keep building and keep trying to improve their project. They haven't ran away. They haven't abandoned it. It's a lot of these projects, if they launched layered farming and it went terrible, they would have just packed up and went away. The Goose team doesn't have that, and that's the one credit I will give them. I really wish layered farming would have went better, but we'll go ahead and go over the idea of the vault. So right here, they're showing you give them the Pancake BNB liquidity, or the USDT BUSD liquidity. They'll auto compound it for you the same way Auto Farm does, and the same way that the Cub Kingdoms will be doing. So it's a similar idea that's out there, where they'll put these tokens into farms for you, and then they'll automatically take the rewards, convert them over into more liquidity tokens, and then stake those liquidity tokens into their platform, making your liquidity token position bigger, while also earning a secondary reward. On Auto Farm, you're going to earn Auto Farm. On Kingdoms, you're going to be earning Cub tokens, along with, they had a little tweak on it. You can watch my other video about Cub that I launched earlier today if you want to know more about that. But when you stake it, So see, they have that same auto compounding feature for you. You're going to get these BUSD peg dollars. You're going to be able to put those into farms like these. In the example, they say BNB LP and USDT BUSD LP, and you're going to be able to take extra profits. So this is kind of a play almost on the ramp finance idea, where you're going to be able to take tokens that are stakeable, put them on the ramp profile where they'll continue to stake and you'll continue to get returns. But by putting them on that platform, you can take out a portion of ramp dollars and then use those ramp dollars. So this is kind of a play on that. And if they get that working, it's going to be exciting to see if a lot of money can flow back into the platform and start to use these new vaults. So that's the exciting side of maybe some new things that are coming for Goose Finance. They still do have a very big Telegram group. They still do have a lot of users. Even after everything that's gone wrong, they still have over $112 million total value locked, while only having a market cap of around $18 million right now because of how far they've gone down. They've done a pretty good job of burning their tokens. As you can see, they've burned 300,000 of 1.4 million that they've issued, and they've lowered their emission down to 0.7 in one of their recent changes that I talked about in a video. So they have less tokens being produced than before, and now new mechanisms coming into the works to hopefully help them burn and do better. Like I did say, they were a top 3 DeFi project. They maybe need to update this to saying they're only top 10, but hopefully they're ambitious to get back into 3rd place or even challenge those top 2. It's really hard to compete with, if you go to the top 2 are Venus and Pancake Swap. So to pass up these guys that have billions of dollars in liquidity would be quite a feat. But you know, they had that kind of ambition. We'll have to see if the team can deliver with the vaults and if they can get layered farming to go a little bit better. Because if you go over here and look at layered farming, like they say, very high risk. The layer 4 token is only at 48 cents. If you look at the incubators, last time I checked, they were not full. They are not full. So not everybody is going into these. These returns have gone way, way down in how much money that you're getting, and you have to earn back this burn fee before you would be profitable. This is how people are getting burned here. I am not playing in the layered farming world. I'm just not. I didn't think I'd be quick enough. You have to be here right when it launches. You have to have money to get in, but not too much money to get in to where you can't get the money back out. It's a very complicated game to get involved in. It's just like chasing brand new pools and buying a brand new token, which drives up the value to put into a pool to start farming that token, so that people start dumping that token, that drives down the value. And even though you're earning 5,000%, how can you lose money? Well, people just dump the heck out of the token, and you're not able to get as much liquidity out as you spent to get in, and you have nothing. This is what happens to brand new farms when they don't have enough development behind them and don't have other tokens and partnerships. Layered farming is kind of playing that game here on this site, where if you get in first and you're doing the best, you can make pretty good returns. But it hasn't worked out for many people. All of these tokens have very, very low values. There's been a big mess, and it just kind of shows you that chasing crazy percentages out here is dangerous. It's just, I don't know if they meant to show that by using their layered farms. I think they were hoping they would be a little more stable, and the idea that one farm feeds the nether would be good. So the last thing we'll do is just take a little look at the chart. So this is the chart over the last few days. So it's a 15-minute chart. These tools here on this on the Go charts, I gotta learn how to use them a little better. Here. Yeah, so if we go to a 1 hour chart, I'll go ahead and change this. Okay, so here's Goose and the wild ride that it's been on. So I did get into it here in the beginning when it was around this $20 range and $18 range. I rode it all the way up to here. I sold some all the way going up. I didn't sell any at the top. I sold some more like down in this area. I watched it come down. I watched it go back up. I was selling all throughout this area because I was like, how can this token have gone up so much? It came all the way back down. And then we had the IFO. We had some good news. Layer farming launched. The token kind of went back up. that didn't go how they planned, and now we've kind of plummeted back down, way down here to we are at now the low that Goose has ever really been at besides launch, where it launched I think at 10 or something. No, it looks like at 1, so it launched really low. I think the lowest I saw it was around 20. So we've reached the last time the lowest it ever went, and now we have to see if the project can get more people to come into it, be excited about the vaults, if they can get another IFO launched, and if we can start to go back up. If we don't, then they're probably just going to stay right here. I don't think there'll be a lot of people jumping at this level because it's so low, but it won't be going up very much. It's still an interesting project to look at, but once again, be very, very careful buying any farmable token. This is the kind of chart that you will see on a farmable token sometimes. So I'm going to end it there. I hope you all have a good day, and if you're getting involved in any of these projects, stay safe and be careful, and remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Goodbye.